I love that we're learning more and more about Gold Roger's crew over the course of One Piece. We met the Doctor way back when we met Laboon going over that mountain, and it was like going into the Grand Line. We met Rizo, the ninja, on Wano. We met Rayleigh, which was Roger's first mate back in Sabi-Adi Archipelago. We've met someone else, I'm sure. And now we're meeting Mr. Ya, who is Roger's left hand. Pretty fucking cool. Love it. Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry, here at the Everything Anime Podcast, topic from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, other relevant topics we're talking about. Today's video is on One Piece 100 and 138 through 100 and 139. 100 and 138 could have been its own chapter. It specifically ends on the mural, and we're going to get into the mural a little bit too. But even though the mural is important, and there's to be a whole video discussion about it, I actually like where this chapter ends a little bit more. So anyways, as the chapter opens up, we open up on a weakened Loki who could probably put up a good fight if he wasn't bound. You got to remember, he's been beaten up by Shamrocks and Gunko, I think her name is, with her arrow powers. And then Shanks is just torturing him as well, or I think he's like watching it. And I'm like, you know, it seems like Loki's weak, even though, you know, he's been talking about chaos and constant destruction. And there's this, like, thing, if you release Loki, like, the whole world's going to be destroyed. But this makes him look kind of weak. Well, not really weak, because he's surviving torture from the Holy Knights. But, like, it's more like, you know, if he was freed, I'm pretty sure he'd cause a lot more destruction than y'all are causing him. And one day when he will get freed, which is actually my notes, but I'm pretty sure when he does get freed, we're going to see that chaos that he's going to bring about. We then learn that Shanks is the younger of the two brothers and is very much aware of his older brother as he's like come back to the Holy Lands, Marios, I think, to like see his father and brother, and then he just kind of left again. He's like, oh, I prefer the life and freedom of a pirate. Even though Shamrocks is down now, he like, you could have been a Holy Knight. We could have ran this shit together. And I've heard a theory that Saint Gerald is their father. I know, like, their father is definitely Social Dragon, and I haven't seen St. Gerald in the anime, but apparently he has red hair and red beard, so totally matches. I mean, that's kind of like the dead giveaway for Shanks' backstory. But it was also theorized because based off of One Piece film Red, Shanks might have been found as a baby inside of the treasure chest, because Shanks like has like a flashback. And I know the animes aren't canon, but I mean, this is going to happen. We don't know how Shanks got separated from his family, or maybe he went back to find out who his real father was. We don't know Shanks' full backstory yet. Shanks is still mostly a mystery, so looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully, it somehow does tie into Film Red, because I like Film Red a lot, and I like how the movies sometimes tie in. Even if not directly, there's still a lot of references to the anime that you could like pinpoint where it would fit in the story. We then get to see Shamrock's weird devil fruit power, which is that he can summon a beast from his Zord, and Sorry, I say Zord on this channel. It's we ain't gonna get into that. That's a whole other video. Very short video, but it's still a whole other video. But one which he brings forth as Cerberus. Now I'm calling it now. This is more foreshadowing that Blackbeard is a Cerberus. And you could probably argue with me based off the mural that it's not. Again, we're gonna get to that mural when we get there. But I still believe that Blackbeard is a Cerberus. I have my whole video and theory on it. Check it out on TikTok. Check it out on YouTube. I believe Blackbeard is a Cerberus. There's a lot of reasons why, especially because I want to put in bold black, Buggy saying to Shanks, I don't think that guy has ever slept a day in his life. And Cerberus's one thing is he does not sleep. We got a musician on the I'm not getting into that. Go watch Blackbeard. Blackbeard is Cerberus theory. Either on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. I have it posted everywhere, so people can't say I copied them. Well, I used to post it in I'm gonna say this now. I used to post it in like different threads, Murphy Naper, Joy Boy Theories, the other guy that does One Piece reviews, the Grand Line Review or something like that. I used to post that. I think Blackbeard's a Cerberus. My comment always got ignored. And I'm like, okay, when it happens, or for Never World 2, and I was like, okay, when it happens, don't be like, oh, guys, we always knew. Y'all was all saying it's not. Oh, and what's his name? The dude that big dude that does Dragon Ball Z reviews. He also was reading One Piece, and he had ignored my comment about Blackbeard being a Cerberus. Y'all know who that is. The big Dragon Ball Z guy. Love his channel though. Anyways, Shamrocks and Gunko, they flee because they think someone is coming. And before leaving, they try to finish Loki off. Or they say they're going to finish Loki off. They're like, hey, if you survive this next attack, come and find me. And Loki gets stabbed. And of course, Loki's not going to die right here. We're talking about freeing Loki. Loki is the threat of Elbath, the destroyer of Elbath. He's going to come back. So we have no reason to fear that Loki's going to die right here. But yeah, seeing the torture that he's going through does suck. And it will understandably piss him off. It makes us feel sorry for Loki. So when he is free, if he does cause destruction, we're going to feel some type of way for him. But we learned that Shamrock's first plan is to recruit the children. The way to get the other giants to fall in line is they're gonna capture their children and recruit them first, and then the adults will just fall in line because they don't want their kids to be taken. But Shamrocks is like, this is a big task. We need to call in a third Holy Knight. Who this third Holy Knight is, we don't know. We don't even get the name of it. But it's teased that a third Holy Knight is coming. Now, I'm hoping this is either someone we've seen before. I don't know whether it be, maybe Lucci will come back again. Or we just saw Lucci on Egghead Island and Kaku. And we know that the rest of CP9 is now CP0, so it couldn't be those guys. And a damn show can't be their leader. That's fucking dumbass. But I don't know, it would be kind of nice to see somebody come back. Give us some more familiarity. But it could be a whole new character, we don't know. Back with Luffy, Nami, and Zoro, and Roto, they come across some guards in the castle who were attacked by Shamrocks. They suspect that it was Shanks, but Luffy argues that Shanks isn't like that. It must be a guy that looks like him. I liked it, even though Luffy hasn't seen Shamrocks. He's like, no, that ain't Shanks. Shanks would never do something like that. It has to be a guy that looks like him. Like, Luffy already would know that when he sees Shamrocks, that you're not Shanks. And because I was kind of wondering if that's the route we're going to take. Is Luffy going to meet Shamrocks and mistake him for Shanks like Amy did with Shadow? Like, Sonic, even though Amy, that goddamn Sonic is not black. He is blue.
On ready? Shadow, Rouge, on with the show.
Oh, Sonic! I thought I'd never see you again. I'm so glad you made it. You're not Sonic. Who are you?
I'm the one who should be asking that.
Dr. Eggman.
Amy, your timing is impeccable. Leave it to me. I'll take care of her. You two, go.
Anyway, we didn't get into that, but Luffy's instincts probably would already tell him, Luffy, he comes off as a goofy, doofy character, but he is very instinctual. Like, he has, instincts that tell him, hey, no, something's wrong, something's going on here. Before we leave them, we get a look at a suspicious-looking character approaching the castle. At this point, we didn't know who it was, but I can tell you now it's Mr. Ya. We're going to get there, but I'm just letting you know, we know who that character is. Before switching over to Frankie, who's checking out Atom Wood, the same wood that's used on Roger and Luffy's Roger's ship. I forgot what Roger's ship was called, but Luffy's Thousand Sunny. But it's also where we find a mural that Frankie wants Robin to see. Now, they say something along the lines of, before showing us, it's maybe this is a child's dream. I thought this would be related to, Luffy's dream and what Roger told the Whitebeard that we didn't get to see, which I'm pretty sure was Roger's dream as well. And we know Luffy's after the King of the Pirates, I want to do, and we saw all the Straw Hat's shocked expressions, and then Luffy's just bursting into laughter, and they burst into laughter with Luffy. And Luffy's that's at the end of my dream. I thought it'd be like that, and we get a tease of it. But no, the way she describes it though is she's it must have been done by a child back in the Void Century, back a long time ago. But in the end, we do get to see the mural, and so we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna look at it with you guys as we go through it. So obviously on the left, or it could be the right. I'm thinking we're seeing Emu holding the mother flame. I know someone else is like, oh, that's Blackbeard. I don't see that being Blackbeard, especially because, like, one, we know the world government has control of the mother flame, and then two, Emu has been shown with those long, stringy, like, arms. Obviously, the boy in white is Joy Boy. That's Luffy. Underneath him is Princess Orihime. Not Princess Orihime, Princess Shirahoshi, because we know that she is Poseidon. She controls, like, you know, the, what are they called? The sea beast. Underneath her, there's like these flying ships. I'm assuming those are giants because we're on an island with like giant clouds and they're like flying. Or it could be, what's that one island that we went to? The one where Enel is from. Skypiea. Obviously there's a giant, so that being a giant. We see a giant robot, so a giant robot's coming back. Love that. A giant whale. Could be Laboon. Could be Laboon's family, but I'm going to say Laboon because, you know, Laboon's a part of the story. We see like a fox-like thing, so I'm assuming that's somebody from Zoe. There's somebody with a crown flying towards them with angel wings. Not sure who that is particularly. At the top, we can assume that's Dragon of the Revolutionary Army. So at least that's what's been theorized. And plus, we know Dragon still has something major to do with the story. There is somebody with a crown. I had thought that'd be Emu for a second, but it could be another character. Somebody with a crown. Don't know exactly who. On the far right, I've heard something about that being Blackbeard. If that is Blackbeard, he'd have to be a Kraken over a Cerberus. Now, I'm not saying I need to see a three-headed dog here, but that would definitely give me more of a guarantee. The moon is in here, and we know the moon has been theorized a lot about One Piece, so maybe Enel is coming back, or maybe this battle will take place on the moon. Not exactly sure. And then we just see like a bunch of people kind of like, seem like they're powering something up or carrying a star or some kind of energy up. Not sure what that is. But, and in the middle is like a tree, which I'm assuming must be Elbaf. Because we know Elbaf's made of a tree. So the mural is definitely given like, you know, there's going to be a war and we're all going to team up and like we're going to take down Emu together. Again, need more information, but this is very good. This is very cool. Very cool mural. I know someone said they broke down the whole thing. I don't see how you could do that based off of that picture, but if you did, very cool. But that's enough about the mural. Meanwhile, as Luffy and the others continue exploring the castle, they're looking for the key to free Loki. They come across the strange symbols they saw on Egghead Island when the five elders appeared. They come across a demon summoning circle. And I was like, okay, Luffy, you should recognize this. Zoro, Nami, we just saw this on Egghead Island when the first five elders appeared. Like, you know, we know this is bad news. And Luffy does be like, this looks familiar. I don't know where. And I can't blame Luffy for exactly not knowing exactly where it was from because I think he was Joy Boy in that moment. But still, you know, they should realize, like, yeah. So the Holy Knights probably have demon forms too. We're probably going to see those at some point, which would be very cool. But that's when we meet the mysterious figure who was walking towards the castle named Mr. Ya. It's a weird name, but apparently it's a nickname because he actually goes by his real name is something else, which we learned about in this chapter. But he isn't a giant, but a pirate who's moved here to Elbaf like 20 years ago. He just decided to move back here. We also learned that he is the husband of the giant teacher Riley, and his son, who we thought was a little kid giant, is actually 20 years old. His wife Riley's 80. They just age differently than us because giants, well, since they're giants and their bodies grow differently, like, you know, obviously they're going to age at a different pace and race at a time like that. So I want to say, like, well, I don't know, the kid's 20, but the mom's 80. And the mom looks like a full-grown adult. I'm not sure how, like, what point, like, you become a teenager. Maybe, like, in your 40s, you're a teenager. Like, 60s, you're, like, in your 20s. Who knows? I don't know. That's too much speculation for me. Anyways, here he goes by the nickname, the Preacher of Love, telling us about the Buccaneers, which we know is a part of the race that is Kuma the Tyrant, Bartholomew Kuma. Long Legs, which we saw just after saving Robin on that one island where we fought the Foxy Pirates. Long Arms, which is, I think we saw them in a movie, like either it was like One Piece Film Gold or One Piece, it was one of the One Piece movies, I think it was Film Gold, or we saw Long Arm, the Long Arm race. And one other race that I'm not familiar with, I didn't write down the name, but basically he preaches that we should all love each other and not care about what race you are and mingle together, because he's a human pirate that had sex with a giant woman, and they had like a hybrid giant child. And he's like saying like, oh, don't care if you're from the long race, or don't care if you're from the Buccaneer race. Like, you know, let's keep our races alive. Let's mingle together, you know, mix our bloods. It shouldn't matter. Love who you want to love, basically. Same thing we say here, like if you're black or white, Mexican, Latino, Spanish, a Guatemalan, whatever, you know, just as long as you love each other, it shouldn't matter. And I've dated all kind of people. Been very happy in all our relationships, so I totally agree with that. He also says that he loves that Luffy wants to free Loki so he can cause trouble, to which Nami hilariously is like, that's so stupid. You can't just love everything and love that he wants to like free Loki so he can cause chaos. That's just stupid. Very funny. It made me chuckle a little bit. But he then asks Luffy, like, what will you do if you free Loki and he causes all destruction and acts wild and crazy? And Luffy's like, simple and easy. I'll beat him up and I'll lock him back up. That is a Luffy response. That is exactly what we expect our boy Luffy to say. We know Luffy's like that. Luffy's all about freedom. Joy Boy's all about freedom. And, you know, he's like Loki. He did cause him. He killed his father. He caused all this destruction, but he seems like a cool guy to me. If Shanks took him down, he can't be that tough. Or he can't be that bad. If Shanks didn't finish him off, he can't be that bad. Before Mr. Yacht can give them warnings, Luffy and Zoro, I almost said Zolo because that's in the anime, or the manga. Luffy and Zoro immediately walk off board saying he's going to talk way too long. We got shit to do. We got to free Loki. We got to get out of here. To which Nami, again, hilariously on cue, is like, hey, we should listen to him. What he has to say is probably important. He's like, don't forget this guy's talking about destroying the whole island, or destroying the whole world. As they walk away, he imagines Roger, Beckham, and I think some other person arguing with Roger about, like, you know, doing something careless and reckless. And Roger's like, I don't care about the rules. I don't care about listening to this long ass story. I want to have fun. Let's do it. I'm doing what the hell I want. Which made me think perhaps Mr. Yaw was a part of the Roger Pirates, which by the end of this chapter, yes, it is confirmed. But who he is exactly was even greater. Now, meanwhile, Usopp is learning the story about Mr. Ya, this man who's lived on this island for 20 years, from another giant. And it basically goes like this. When Roger got sick, him and his crew came to Elbath, and one of them went up with Roger in the mountains to, like, you know, let Roger heal up and get sick. So while Roger was, like, you know, in bed sleeping, this meant Roger was going to be attacked by like 100 different pirates, 100 different animals and beasts, whatever like that. And this man went outside with just 2 axes and took them all down. And of course, if you're going to be a part of the crew of the King of Pirates, you got to be strong. Like Luffy, the captain will always be the strongest, but you got to remember your crew still has to back you up. That's the whole point of fighting CP9 and seeing the ranking with all the Straw Hats, like their levels and powers like that. It's so that, you know, like, even though Luffy is the strongest, he needs the rest of his crew to be strong too. And so I love that, like, Roger's crew, which of course, because, you know, we heard about Rayleigh, we seen Raizo, we know the doctor that's taking care of Laboon, they got to be strong. And we seen Old Man Zeph, you know, right leg Zeph. So we know, like, these old crew characters, they strong as hell. But this man was known as Roger's left hand, aka the Sanji of Luffy, is Luffy's crew, the Straw Hat crew. Now, as we then flash back over to Luffy and the others, they come across a key, and it is the key to free Loki, but I thought this would be too easy. I was like, there's no way we're just going to be able to grab this key and nothing's going to happen. And of course not. Because if you want this key, you have to defeat Roger's left hand, Scopper Gabbin, to get it. And I thought this was so fun. I mean, we kind of just teamed up with Raizo. We kind of just met up with the doctor who's going to free Laboon. We got saved by Rayleigh on Sabi Abe Archipelago. But we've never fought a member of Gold Roger's crew. And so this is going to be pretty cool. And we know Shanks is a part of that crew. Well, technically we did. We fought Buggy the Clown. Buggy the Clown was a part of Roger's crew. And we beat him, so I'm just saying. Don't forget Buggy. Buggy was a part of that crew. But I thought it was a pretty awesome way to end the chapter. Don't know much about Roger's left hand, but since he took out 100 men with just 2 axes, and again, we know, like, everybody on Roger's crew, even though they've been, like, you know, not actively out there pirating, they stay strong. They ain't let their skills sleep. So, anyways, great chapter. Again, I don't know much about the mural. If somebody else has a lot of long theory about it, I'll probably watch that video about them to get more information about it. But I just love, like, meeting more Roger's crew, and I love that we're about to fight one of them. We'll see how we pair up against Roger's second left hand, which would be like fighting Sanji. Anyways, guys, that's all for this video. See you guys in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.